Hi everyone, this is Janet Simmons. I'm the author of The Rise of the Fox, the unauthorized Eric Carr story, and you're listening to On the Fly.
You are listening to On the Fly.
What's up, guys? On the Fly is back again tonight, and I'm laughing at people backstage. But tonight, me and Jack are back out again. Of course, last time we had Jack on, we did our recap and review of the Phantom Menace, and since it's December, we decided that it would be as good time as any to do one of the more polarizing, I guess that's the word for it, to use a big word, polarizing episodes from the Star Wars galaxy. Yeah, I'm fancy tonight. From the Star Wars galaxy. It's one that is a cult classic. You love to hate it, but after watching it, we'll see. I don't want to be the Debbie Downer of the group like some people were talking about earlier, or maybe Positive Polly, but we're going to talk about the Star Wars Holiday Special tonight. And when we introduced the guests, we got two special guests that are joining us tonight, and they are currently backstage showing words up on the screen because they can't talk to each other. But okay, we'll see that in a minute. But anyway, with me again tonight, as always, is Jack. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, dude? Thanks for having me on. I
As
always love
always,
to
dude.
talk about some Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, and when you see the special guest, I'll go ahead and tell you, I was the only one that was alive when this came out. I saw it when it happened, because when it happened back then, you had to watch it then. You didn't get to see it. It wasn't DVR. It wasn't, record it. We'll be able to watch it. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on social media. No, you had to watch it. And I sat through it. And, of course, as a 5-year-old kid, that was 1978. I was 5. I was just happy to see Star Wars on TV. So, as I got older watching it, I was like, okay. And watching it again over the last week, I've watched it twice. Yeah, that's I'll save that for later anyway. But with us tonight from the Sunny Dayz 252 podcast, 252, add that to it. Don't go looking up Sunny Dayz with the Z, or you'll find a rapper. I'm going to bring them on one by one. First up, Mallory from the Sunny Dayz 252 podcast, and her co-host, partner in crime, Caitlyn. Welcome to the show, girls.
Hi.
So what were the little signs y'all were holding up back while y'all were backstage?
No sunshine.
Okay, mine.
I know what hers said. I love something.
No, I left my notes. I took so many notes that I wanted to share.
Oh my gosh.
They're inside. I wanted to run, but I'm not that fast.
Well, you're supposed to be in training.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the 5K, right?
Yeah, that's right. 5 days coming. So before we get started on Star Wars stuff, we want to talk to Mallory. Caitlyn and Mallory have been on here before, so this is their second time on the show. Jack, I think this is your third time, so you got one up on them. But let's talk a little bit about the Sunny Dayz podcast, the Sunny Dayz 252, because like I said, you will find a rapper if you look up Sunny Dayz with the 252.
Don't get confused.
You guys just had a new episode come out. You were talking about grief. Tell us a little bit, and whichever one you want to start, tell us a little bit about the Sunny Dayz podcast, what you guys do over there.
Sunny Dayz is a bit of we're bringing positivity to people. Any type of topic. Our main goal is to bring positivity, but we do get real. And we have moments that we talk about things that people go through. And our most recent podcast episode was talking about grief. And we wanted to put that episode out because grief is definitely present during the holidays. So we had been talking about doing it for a while, and we decided it was best to do it during the holidays for the people that needed it most.
And that was very spare of the moment. We've actually been recording our podcast now for over a year. We celebrated 1 year a couple months ago, so a little over a year. And it's getting serious. It started off as kind of like a vlog, just day dates. We did a lot of day dates together, so we were like, why not share them? Because we're pretty funny, we're pretty real and raw when it comes to sharing. And I always say sharing is caring, because I have been in some really dark spaces before, but sharing those out loud has always pulled me back out of it. So anyhow, we started as just like besties for the resties, sharing our day dates. And then we were like, okay, we're starting to get viewers. We're starting to get comments about this. We're actually changing the narrative now, because we could really change some lives, because we started getting more serious. We've got a book. We started to do outlines. We started to take it more seriously. And now the ideas just flow. So like she said, we weren't going to do the episode on grief last. Actually, the episode last month was supposed to be Thankful Thursday and World Kindness Day. We pulled that from the internet because we wanted to keep it light and we wanted to just talk about something fun, but we changed it last minute because it was on our heart. So we really just share whatever's on our heart in our day.
Yeah, I think that's a good therapy, is when, because I mean, going through loss as you know, me and Mallory and everybody has. Me and Mallory have in the last couple of years. It's tough during this time of year. It's probably the toughest part of this of the grief for us is not having that person here with us anymore when we celebrate these holidays. But yeah, I watched that episode. That was a very good episode you guys did, which you guys do. All your episodes are good. I'm a little biased towards you, but you guys, we'll give out the links for everything at the end of the show. Jack, still waiting on you to do a video for your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But you guys need to check out Jack's YouTube channel. We'll talk about that at the end of. Any plans for a video anytime soon?
Yeah, I got some things scribbled down in my notes anyway, but no actual action on recording them yet.
I got you. It's hard sometimes, and I don't know how you guys feel. You guys seem to be more motivated to do it right now. And in that first year, there was one day in that first year when I was doing my podcast, there was one day I did 4 episodes in a day. I did 4 interviews in a day. And I was just like reeling them off. And now I'm just like, I'm going to do a
Did
podcast.
you do outfit changes though?
No, I didn't, because at that time I was not a video podcast. Because this was when we were still having crappy internet, and I had to do it over the phone. So I didn't have to worry about wardrobe changes or anything like that during the time.
Well, I think that me and Mallory doing it together, if one slacks off, the other picks it up. Like, I think having a partner helps, because there's some days where we're like, I do not want to do this, but we'll talk it up with each other and then we want to do it. Like, we'll come out at midnight sometimes where we were just tired and we were like thinking, you know, should we just go to bed? But we'll start chatting and then we're like, all right, let's go. Let's talk on camera.
Might as well talk about it and film it while you're talking about it.
Accountability partner there. The only problem we have with our podcast is storage.
I have suggested a option for it, but y'all won't listen to me. Y'all won't listen.
External hard drive.
That's one thing. I've got one.
We
right
need
here
devices.
Exactly.
All old stuff.
But they don't see. They do it on their phone, so it'd be hard to. They'd have to transfer it from the phone over to the laptop, then the external hard drive. But they won't. Yeah.
We're learning.
We are
complicated. So before we get into Star Wars, we've done the intros and everything. We do a little current events. There's a couple of current events I want to talk about because I think all four of us. It was two current events that I think all four of us were interested in. Of course, the Thursday before or Wednesday before Thanksgiving, the premiere of season 5, volume 1 of Stranger Things, which crashed Netflix twice that night. And I don't know about you guys. At 8:00, I was sitting there hitting the button. And after about, I think it took me 15 minutes to get in and start watching the first episode. But first 4 episodes come out. So we got what, 4 more? Is it 4 or 5 more?
3 on Christmas Day, 1 on New Year's.
Okay,
Eve.
3 on Christmas Day and 1 on New Year's Day. So we got 4 more episodes. But guys, if you haven't watched Stranger Things, has everybody watched the first 4?
Yeah.
No, Caitlyn hasn't, you butthead. I told her about that too.
I have 2 kids. I watch Paw Patrol, okay?
Paw Patrol and the Grinch.
Yeah. And the
Paw
Grinch.
Patrol and the Grinch. Nothing wrong with that. That's okay. I understand. But first 4 episodes, I mean, especially the last episode, incredible. I mean, I was like, and Caitlyn, I hope this makes you want to go watch it after it was over. But that was a game changer on episode 4. I don't know what you and Mallory thought about Jack.
Oh, I loved it. I feel like I'm kind of biased just because I love Stranger Things, but I did love it. But I'm sure y'all did too. I had to tone out the certain word they kept repeating over and over and over. I had to just kind of blank out whenever they say it.
It was just a lot more than usual. That's the only yeah. I mean,
I'm what word was I'm missing it? What word was it? I'm
GD.
Oh yeah,
yes.
We don't need to hear that. I'm not. And look, we're not being straight edge or anything, but that's a word that you don't really have to say. I mean, what's the purpose of that anyway? But I've never liked that. I'll say that, Jack, and I have. There's probably been some times in my life where I've said it, and no, we don't need that. There's no, and I'm sure our little Eddie Murphy of the group down there that I had to have the censor button ready for it anytime might reel off a little bit of profanity here and there. But
Mallory, you heard me chasing a dog last yesterday.
Oh no, a while ago, just a few minutes ago before we went on there, calling Mallory, and Mallory had it on speakerphone, and I hear, I got the microphone, and there was some words that came out that I was like, oh.
I have a sailor's mouth, and I get it from my mom's side of the family. I really do. And my dad's side. It was my parents.
We're all
my parents.
I'm on that side.
family.
Oh,
So yeah, Stranger Things, big hit. A lot left up in the air.
I have a theory, real quick, and I have not talked to Jack about it, but I'm just gonna put this out there because when it happens, I want to say that I said it.
Go for it.
Will's dad, Will's real dad, is Henry.
I could get on board with it as a possibility.
Possibility. Bring it up here a little bit more.
He's not going 100%. He's saying, yeah, I could see that maybe happening.
I'm not against
95.
it, but I'm also not rooting for it.
Okay.
And I think in a certain time we will be talking more about Stranger Things in upcoming episodes. But for the time being, I threw a shout out to the Sunny Dayz podcast. There's another podcast I want to throw a shout out to. That if you're a Stranger Things fan, I just found this about a month ago, and I've been binge listening to these guys. It's a father and a daughter from Texas that they've gone through every episode so far of Stranger Things. They've been doing it for a while. It's called the Stranger Things podcast, and Daryl and Addison Darnell, I think that's their name. Hold on, let me make sure I'm saying this right. I don't want to mess them up, but they do an excellent job. And I guess, yes, Addison Darnell and Daryl Darnell, they do a great job going through each episode, and they give out little theories too. So Mallory, you probably like to hear their theories. There's a lot of theories I've heard on there that and going back and listening to the older episodes, and they give theories out, and some of them are spot on. But look, Stranger Things is all over the place, all over TV right now. And watching Jimmy Fallon the other night when Millie Bobby Brown was on, and he was throwing out theories that people would put out there, and watching her reaction, trying to gauge her reaction to see if, oh gosh, they know. But the one that I kind of worry about is the one that when he said this whole thing is just the guys playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons.
I will cry.
It's been nothing but that, and her face was like, oh, okay, like, oh, that they could know. I was kind of worried about that. If that's the case, I'm gonna be so upset.
Yeah, because then that ruins the point of the whole show. Like everything was just fake and didn't matter.
Everything was not real. But look, there was a picture that came out of the last day of filming. Mike and Hopper sitting in the middle of town. Hopper has his police uniform back on.
I did see that, yeah.
I think that they're doing that to throw people off, though, because they did that with another show that I'm a big fan of, and it didn't. What was shown made it look like they were filming, didn't actually happen. So I think they're doing that to throw people off.
But why would Hopper have his police uniform back on anyway?
Well, I'm saying, like, it's not a real scene. They're just making people believe that.
I'm going to be ticked off if that happens. I can tell you that.
I feel like we've all seen with movies and shows, whenever there's spoilers leaked, it's never accidental. It's always like a tease so people know something. Or to lead people a different direction.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case. But Stranger Things podcast, Addison and Daryl Darnell. You can find it anywhere you listen to your podcast. So go give them a listen if you're a Stranger Things fan. You will really enjoy it. I'm catching up on the old episodes now. I think they just released because she's already watched the first 4. He's going week by week. He didn't binge watch it. I don't know how he didn't do it, but he didn't. He watched episode by episode to each week, one a week. So I don't know how he's doing that, but anyway. Make sure you check those guys out. All right, the last current event we'll talk about this past week was the first birthday for legendary rock artist, and I think all of us are fans of is the late great Ozzy Osbourne, who passed.
I didn't know it was his birthday.
Yeah, his first heavenly birthday was this past week. And I said it when he passed away. It's hard to imagine, as long as I've listened to him. It's hard to imagine a world without Ozzy Osbourne in it. So, and I got into Ozzy in '85 and just kept on being a big fan. Then when the Osbournes reality show come out, I was like, okay, this is different. But I honestly thought it was going to make me less of a fan of him, but it made me more of a fan because you will show the action. You want the freaking Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. You want the guy that's like on stage and all that, the heavy metal guy. But then you see the guy behind the scenes, the funny guy, and it made me more of a fan because I saw his sense of humor and some of the funny things he did. But yeah, hate Ozzy's gone, but we just have to live with the memories of Ozzy Osbourne and the great music he put out. I don't know how. I know Jack is a pretty good fan of Ozzy. Mallory is. I don't know about you, Caitlyn. What about you?
All Ozzy fan, yes. Always.
Okay, I'm going to throw you on the spot. Favorite Ozzy Osbourne song. It's not the 10-second drill either. There we go. Got her. What you got, Mallory?
Shot in the Dark.
Yes.
Gosh, was it? Tears, something.
No More Tears.
No More Tears. I do like that one.
Both good ones.
Go ahead and say Crazy Train, Caitlyn. Be like everybody else.
That's probably my least favorite, honestly.
Fatigue will do that.
Yeah. It was like, I will skip that one. But there, like the week he passed, we were on an Ozzy kick, of course. And we listened to so many songs that we didn't know the names of. But when it plays, you know the song, and it's Crazy Train's definitely like down here now compared. I would have to like come back when I know the names of the songs, but there's some really good ones out there.
And to watch the last show that they did, the tribute to Ozzy.
Yes, the Mama song. What's the name
Mama,
of it?
I'm Coming Home.
Mama, I'm Coming Home. That's such a good one.
Yeah,
yes.
that's a good one.
Yes,
But
I love that one.
To watch that show and to realize that like a week later he was gone.
It's wild. Yeah.
He was because that was like, people are calling that an on-stage funeral.
Yeah.
He did. Everybody was paying tribute to him, and it's the way any legendary group, if you want to do a send-off for any legendary group, that's the way it should be done.
Yeah. And they always say right before a passing like that, like they know, and you could just feel that he knew. Like it was a very emotional performance.
Oh yeah. If you go back and watch Mama, I'm Coming Home at that show when he did that, it's right now I got goosebumps just thinking about it right now.
I wish I knew the name of the song I love. Don't ever. You should have asked me this before we came on. I would have been ready.
The other side?
No. It's a slower one. It's not as like metal.
Dreamer?
Maybe. I'll listen. I'll put it in the comments of this episode. On. Yes.
All right. So the main event tonight. The Star Wars, not the Christmas special, the Star Wars holiday special, Happy Flythe Day, comes out in November 17th in 1978. It airs on CBS. And as a kid, I'll go ahead and tell you guys, there were two things that, at that age especially, there were two things that I was obsessed with: Kiss and Star Wars. And within months of each other, both Kiss and Star For did a made-for-TV movie, and I was like, within a month of each other, because Kiss did theirs in October, and this one was in November of the same year. So I was like, without a VCR, you had to watch it. I was living life. Star Wars was on TV, Kiss was on TV, and watching this as a kid, I was like, okay, they've got all the stars up there. Everybody's back and making an appearance. Loved it. I was like, because I didn't watch it again, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, this was pretty much done. If you read the backstory to it, this was done between New Hope and Empire. And it was about a year and a half after New Hope had came out that they decided we need to do something to keep people up on us, to keep us out there so we can sell merchandise. So George Lucas has like 10 Star Wars stories in the can. And he's like, okay, this is what we'll do. We'll sell this to CBS. So Lucas, in the meantime, he's all wrapped up in trying to get Empire Strikes Back ready. So this is very rare for George Lucas. He turns it over to somebody else. And this becomes pretty much Star Wars, the variety show. And it's a story that Lucas had about, and it gives you a little background on Chewbacca, his family, which we'll get into that in a second. They could have come up with better names for the family than this guy. But watching it, okay, the first time you guys watched this, what was your reaction the first time you saw this? We'll start with you, Caitlyn.
Well, I was little, so I didn't really pay much mind to it. Like, I was just watching bits and pieces. Of course, I love Chewbacca, so I was in it, like seeing Chewbacca's son. It was cute. I just really didn't have big thoughts on it. Back then, because like I'm a little old too, so I mean, I watched this in the early 2000s, and when weird things come on TV, I'm used to it because like my dad watched weird stuff all the time. So you just kind of walk away when it's weird. But rewatching it as an adult, it's like you giggle, like, what were they thinking? But then I know what they were thinking. I don't know if you guys know, but there was a lot of drugs in play when they made this film. So they were just all high. So like looking back, I'm like, okay, I see what they were doing. Like they're all coked out and
The
making
vision.
fun of it. So, like you said, they just had to make something, so they made something. But yeah, there's some little details in there though that you're like, okay, I see the bigger picture if you're going in with an open mind. But then you're looking at like some skits of it and you're like, okay, weirdos.
Okay, let's go to you, Mallory.
I mean, I do remember. I don't remember much because I too was young, like
Yeah, I
probably
forced it on you.
3, 4. But I do remember. I do remember thinking like, this is not my Star Wars like the usual. I was kind of like confused because it looked more like a TV show to me than like the actual Star Wars movies. So I remember my reaction to it was just straight confusion. But then watching it again, like as I got older, I think I probably watched it maybe once in the past 5 years, just tried to, and I was like, okay. I couldn't make it all the way through. But then the other day I watched it and I did make it all the way through.
And we compared notes and got the bigger picture.
Exactly.
The bigger
Positive polys.
Sunny Dayz will always find the brighter side of things. Okay.
Well, we need to bring y'all on more often when I do some of these reviews for some of the stuff that is god
Facts, no
awful.
printer.
What?
Facts, no printer.
Oh. All right, Jack. I know you haven't watched this, but maybe once. And when the comment I got from you was epic. Yeah, go ahead and tell them what your message to me was.
I said, what did I say? I'm gonna read it off word for word because I sent like the same thing to them earlier. I'm about 25 minutes in, and my brain is rotting from this. But no, I wanted to say I know that we do like this podcast and stuff for fun and all, but Stevie, I think you should pay me for having to watch that today.
Well, I had to watch it too. I watched it twice in a week, dude.
That was I was sitting there scratching my head half the time, and it just really wasn't like my Star Wars that I'm used to. But
Exactly.
it reminded me a lot of. Do you remember the show Land of the Lost?
Yes.
It reminded me a lot of that because of the half half live action and the way they filmed it. I kept getting a lot of flashbacks to that.
I'm surprised you brought that up. Good call, Jack.
I used to watch that when I was younger.
What was the name of the little guy, the guys that hissed around
Chaka.
No, the guy, there was a bunch of them. They always come around. They had the big eyes.
Flythe.
Yes. I knew it was something stacks. Yeah. So they, of course, they wanted to get all the guys from A New Hope in it. Mark Hamill said he read the script, said it was awful. He was not going to do it. And George Lucas called him and convinced him. And Mark Hamill said, well, there's one thing I'm not doing. I'm not singing that stupid song at the end. And I guess Carrie Fisher was, she was probably one of them that was.
She was cooked out. She said it in an interview.
That she decided she was going to sing it. So, and
Love her.
when we get to that, we'll get to that later on. So it starts off and you go to the planet of Kashyyyk, which is the Wookiee planet, Chewbacca's home planet. And guys, I don't mean any harm. And I know y'all want to be positive Polly's, and I'm going to be negative Nelly right here because the first few minutes of this show, unless you speak Wookiee, you don't know what the heck's going on. Hello, subtitles. You could have subtitles down there to let us know what.
Contact.
Okay. So
I guess I'm like part Wookiee because I knew everything going on.
Well, I mean, you could tell what was going on.
Yeah, you could tell that kid was getting in trouble.
Yeah.
You could tell the mom was worried. You have to pay attention and have an open.
I know what was going on, but I still want to know what they're saying. So this is Chewbacca's wife, Mala, his son, Lumpy, and the father, who is Itchy.
He looked itchy.
Itchy looked like.
I was going to make a comment about the father, Itchy, real quick.
Yeah.
So that's him, right?
Yeah.
LOL.
From the
Hey, one of the guys on the cartoon,
Mm.
which was the best thing of the whole freaking show, looked like Yukon Cornelius in there with the red mustache and everything going all the way around.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're up there. Unless you, like I said, you don't know. It's a lot of yelling going on. I mean, it's like all this going on. No subtitles, which they could have invested in that.
But does Chewie ever have subtitles in any of the other movies? You never
y'all
had
see
hate
that,
about Chewie?
I always wondered how in the world. I mean, I know they had a script and everything, but Han was so quick to know exactly what Chewie was saying. You guys saw that video I sent you earlier when they were filming Star Wars, and Peter Mayhew is actually saying his lines when they film. He's saying, like, when Obi-Wan leaves in A New Hope to go turn the tractor beam off, Peter Mayhew plays Chewbacca saying, "That man is crazy. That old man's crazy." And Han Solo's looking at it like, "You're right, Chewie." And I was like, yes, I want to see the uncut version like that with him saying his lines. But yeah, okay, Chewbacca, you know exactly what it's saying. But you got Han Solo there to translate for us too.
Yeah.
And
to give context, at least.
Yeah.
Well, when they did the video calls to like Leia and Luke, you were getting the idea of the conversation.
Leia didn't know what she was saying at first. Leia was on one of them Coke specials, and by halfway through it, she looked at C-3PO and said, "I think I understand the message."
Yeah.
She was a little bossy. I think I understand the message. But Luke, I mean, we'll get to that in a minute, but okay, here's one of the unnecessary parts, and there's a few of them that came out of this show. Okay, the little kid, Lumpy, is sitting there, and he's getting in trouble, like Caitlyn said. He's getting in trouble, so his mom tries to find him something to distract him. He's got his little device there, turns it on, and we see a freaking holographic circus act going on.
With what looks like a male stripper.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie on that one.
And that goes on for 3 or 4 minutes, and I'm just sitting there like, what?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the scenes were drug on really long.
Yeah.
Part one of why. Why part one is that's my first why right there.
But when you're high, I guess it doesn't feel like you don't know time. So
yeah,
they're probably like, that's just a little clip, but then it was like 5 minutes later.
And
tell me about it. I thought the holiday special was like a 30 minute thing. I didn't know it was a full-length movie.
Hour and a half.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was like a whole long thing.
Well, CBS was figuring, okay, we get Star Wars on one night, we'll kill the ratings right there. That'll just wipe out NBC and ABC right then, because there was nothing else but those three at the time. So we'll wipe them out if we put Star Wars up here for most of prime time. So that goes on, and get through that part. And now we get to Mala getting on her little computer, typing in stuff, trying to locate Chewbacca to see where they're at. And no luck. And she starts hollering again. And so the computer I know it's 78. The computer, wow. Just looking at that computer is like, wow, that is an old school computer hooked up to a big old monitor, and just I look like a typewriter up there what she was doing. But I don't know what you guys felt about the whole trying to locate him. And then you see the scene where Chewie and Han are trying to get back, and they're running to the Imperial Star Destroyers trying to get them, and they're trying to get, and Han's like, "I don't think you're going to make it home." And Chewbacca yells at him again. And he said, "Well, we'll make sure you get home for Flythe Day." What is the deal with Flythe Day, by the way? What do you guys think about that?
I thought it was light.
No, it's live.
It's like, I felt like it was
Flythe Day.
Christmas. Like,
well, at first I thought it was a birthday. Mm-hmm. Like, Happy Life Day, like birthday, but it is their Christmas.
Mm-hmm. It's Wookiee Christmas.
Yeah.
So,
But I like it for birthday. Like, I actually think now when I say happy birthday to someone, I want to be like, happy Life Day.
you want to be
Life
different.
Day, a Wookiee holiday celebrating family and harmony, or possibly a unit of time.
Or possibly weird little skits mixed in all through Life Day. But back then, though, I'll say this because none of you were around back then. Back then, they had a thing for variety shows. They like to do these, and especially like around the holidays, they would do different celebrities get up there, and you'd have like a music, just like this. You'd have a music act. You'd have something like, I don't remember seeing that weird circus act though, but something to that effect.
I feel like they were playing with all the new technology and just throwing everything in it. Like, just let's throw everything we just learned and put it in an episode.
Trying to make it look as futuristic as possible.
Yeah, that's what I think that they were doing.
Yeah,
on a lot of cocaine, literally.
So, Mela, and here's the thing I want to ask you guys about too, because we're dealing with the time frame between New Hope and Empire. Hold on. How did that happen? There you go.
You kicked me out.
I know. Luke has got very astute at Wookiee language all of a sudden, because Mela calls. I guess she's got everybody to hook up with everybody. She's got all these guys in her contacts on that computer. She calls Luke. Luke's up there working on some kind of motor, him and R2-D2. Tell me something. Did Mark Hamill not look a little weird to you guys?
Yeah, different.
He didn't look like Luke Skywalker.
A little skinnier.
Yeah.
His hair was like blonde.
I think his haircut made his face shape look different. I think that's mainly what it was, in my opinion.
But also remember, before the filming of Empire, he had a injury.
Car wreck. He had a car wreck.
It changed the way he looked temporarily.
But she goes through the same old with him, and he understands everything she says, because he's like, "Hold on, R2, she's trying to tell me something," and he's like, "Well, I'm sure they'll be there." And we go through the same old thing, and this is pretty much their way of making sure everybody from New Hope gets on the screen. That you see the Luke Skywalker, you see R2-D2. R2-D2, actually, if you look at the opening credits, all the people were from New Hope, like the cast were said, like Mark Hamill was Luke Skywalker, Harrison Ford, Han Solo. Did you not hear them say R2-D2 as
R2-D2?
R2-D2. Kenny Baker, who played R2-D2, did not do this. He probably saw the writing on the wall. Was like, "Oh no, you guys go ahead and."
He was probably sober.
Yeah, he was the only sober one out of the group, probably. So
it was pretty much everybody except Obi-Wan or Alec Guinness, whatever you.
Yeah, Alec Guinness. Well, he was dead anyway, so he couldn't come around unless his ghost came out
after that.
After New Hope.
They put Obi-Wan at the very end, though. Like in the ending credits, he popped up.
Oh. Wow. I didn't know.
I didn't know he died that soon after A New Hope.
He died during New Hope.
I feel like he came up as
not Alec Guinness. Oh, you talking about Alec Guinness, the actor? No. Yeah.
No.
That's
what I was talking about.
He was around for Empire and Jedi, so I forgot what year he actually passed away.
I was like, are we living the same life right now? Because I don't think he died.
No, he didn't. I was talking about Obi-Wan, which of course you knew that. So one of the weirdest parts of the whole conversation between Luke and Mala is when Luke said, "Come on, let me see you smile," and she gives the cringiest smile out there. She's
like, so cute. Leave her alone.
I'm like, oh my gosh, she's got the hot for Luke.
That is so funny.
But then, they get off the phone or whatever that thing is, and they start talking about Life Day, and then the trading post comes up with Art Carney, who I know you guys probably don't know. You've heard of the TV show The Honeymooners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Gleason It's a legendary TV show from like the 60s called The Honeymooners. Jackie Gleason was a star, and this guy, Art Carney, was like his sidekick. So they decide they're going to put Art Carney as this guy, Son Don, the trader, who's a trader. He's got his own little market thing. And let me tell you guys, this is the 70s and probably right in the middle of disco too. His little button-down shirt that's got his chest hair hanging out. Hey, you're too old for that, dude. You don't need to be doing that. You don't need to be doing that. But so he's up there talking to it's an imperial officer there, just browsing and shopping. And of course, I guess they're all around Kashyyyk looking for Han Solo and Chewbacca too. They're all over the place, they said. So Mala calls the trading post. She's just calling it everywhere. She's calling all. What's that country phone? The phone's been ringing all over town or something like that. She's calling all over the place, looking for Chewbacca, and she calls him, and he starts giving her code words because that guy's there. Those hand-woven rugs that you got, the big hairy rugs, they're on the way to you. A woman did it by herself, by hand, solo. I was like, this Imperial guy, if he's even looking for him and he didn't pick that up, stupid. Yes, I mean, so that was interesting there. What do you guys think about this with this Art Carney's character here?
I don't really know. I think he was a big plot convenience for the show.
He's a big star at the time, and I think
that's what I feel. Yeah,
they wanted to plug him in.
Yeah, just throwing random stars in there. That's all he was.
Thank God.
I like the Arthur being in there.
Jeez, don't talk about it. Dude. Anyway, so the code words, and okay, here's where CBS, of course, you're not going to get live Darth Vader. I mean, I guess he was just too big at the time, or what? James Earl Jones or whatever the guy, what was it? David Prowse, the guy that was actually in the suit. I guess he was sober too, because he didn't make the trip. They used that one scene with Vader is a rehashed scene from New Hope with overdubbed audio. You can read the guy walking beside him's mouth. He's not saying the same words as what's coming, as what's coming out of his mouth. And I'm like, okay, I didn't pick that up at the time either. So far, and that's I think they go to a commercial, and then you see the CBS thing, Star Wars Holiday Special will return. So far, what's you guys' thoughts of this show so far?
This definitely isn't the regular Star Wars. That's for sure.
It's a lot slower than regular Star Wars, but I thought it was cool how they showed just them living a normal life. Like, this mama was worried about her husband. She was taking care of the kid, watching a TV special. Like, you saw her pulling up the dinner
cooking show,
and she's like trying to make dinner, even though in the back of her mind she's worried about her husband. She's still going on getting dinner ready. The old grandpa that's weird, and you always go somewhere where it's like an old weird grandpa. Like, so if they weren't Wookiees, it wouldn't have been as weird. So think about if it was some hot guy and a hot girl, and if it was normal looking people, it probably wouldn't have been so weird. But they made the Wookiees look so normal. So I got that. I was like, look at the little boy, look at the mom. Like, it gave an idea of a day-to-day in Star Wars life. Rather, the Star Wars movies are fast, and they're all for the point of the movie. Like, they're for this story line rather than what everyone did day to day. Like, this show literally showed every little thing where you're getting in trouble, you're eating, you're chilling in the living room, and you're still worried about what's going on in the other world. Yeah. So I thought that was cool. Like, it slowed down for this. I mean, drug on a little bit longer than it needed to, but it pointed out some real life things, day-to-day things. And I thought that was cool because they don't do that much in the movies.
No. So coming back, and like Caitlyn said, Milo decides she's going to cook, probably to get her mind off things. So she puts a little cooking lesson in, and
Whip,
this is,
scared.
yeah, we'll get to that. This is a guy that was big in comedy at the time, Harvey Korman, who was Carol Burnett's show. People my age will remember that. That was a big show that came on every week, and he was a big part of that. Him and Tim Conway. So he plays, which is they are actually parodying a cook at the time that was big at the time, Julia Child, and he's doing that. Ends up with 4 arms. You see it at, I mean, and I'm going like, he's and the dinner he's making is bantha surprise.
Mm-hmm. And then they have like an actual chop of bantha.
Yes,
on the table.
I'm like, okay, bantha. You know what a bantha is, right?
It's the big, I don't know,
Thing
like,
that
I
they-
don't even know what you call them.
Yeah.
One of the same stuffy that he had upstairs.
Yeah,
Yes.
the big
Yeah.
things from Tatooine. on
Yeah.
there.
Yes. So it looks kind of nasty, too. But anyway, she's up there doing. She's throwing in, and he gets faster and faster as she's telling him. And this is why part 2 for me. Why did this last so long? And I know they want to get Harvey Korman in there to do comedy, but did not have to last this long. And then they do the whole stir whip, stir whip.
Yeah, that's so annoying.
Yeah, that's the best part of the whole thing right there. The stir
That's
whip.
another one of the things that carried on for a while. The stir whip.
And I wonder if it had to be like an hour and 30 minutes. Like they literally had nothing else to do but drag
was thinking the
everything
same
on.
thing.
It's,
Yeah.
like I said, they probably wanted to fill up as much of prime time as they could
Yeah.
with Star Wars, and that's my only guess there. That's just a guess. I don't know, because I'm like you. This went way too long.
Yeah.
But maybe they wanted to get some of these stars in there, because usually a variety show back then at the most would last an hour. A Christmas special or something like that would last an hour. So now you see Han and Chewie, they're back still trying to get to Kashyyyk, and Han's talking about there's a lot of Imperial presence around here. We're going to have to park on the north side of the planet. And Chewie yells at him again. You know, Chewie yells at him a lot, but it's like, you can afford to walk some and all this stuff. And, you know, they come away from him. They actually didn't have a whole lot with Han and Chewie in it. I mean, it wasn't a lot at all.
Stuff, but then you don't actually get a story about them.
No, you don't. I mean, you kind of figure where they're coming from, but what it may be just those 2 actual shots of them, 2 scenes with them before you see them actually get there to Kashyyyk.
You got the most background of what was going on outside of Chewie's house in cartoon form. Like,
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
like, it rounded it up real fast in cartoon.
But Chewie's family, they get on the video screen, they get a message from the Empire declaring martial law, and no ships will be landing or taking off on this planet until they've searched everywhere, because they're saying there's a rebel presence that should be on this planet, and they're going to find them. So then we get to the mind evaporator. Okay, the trader, what's his name? Dan, or whatever his name is, Son. He comes over to the house, and he's like telling them, he's trying to reassure the whole family that he said, if I got through this checkpoint, they'll get through it. And he's giving presents out. He gives Lumpy his presents, which Lumpy takes off upstairs with. He gives Mala something. And then he gives the old granddad Itchy, hey, here's something I got. I got a proton pack for your mind evaporator. And I'm like, what the heck is a mind evaporator? And then he gets under that, and it's pretty much virtual reality. And it's the actress, she was big at the time too, Diane Carroll. And I'm like,
she sings him a song.
Well, she does more than sing him a song, dude. She's talking to him, and it's kind of suggestive. I'm like, I'm a 5-year-old kid watching this. You got kids who are watching this, and some of the stuff that she says at the first part of it, while it's not over the top, it was getting there. Like, I find you so adorable. You're my fantasy. Oh, I'm your fantasy, and all this stuff. I'm like, hey, you don't need to cut that. Look, makes him look like a creepy old granddad, and he's watching that stuff, and she's singing. And I'm like, why part 3? So, any thoughts on this whole thing?
You always have that creepy old grandpa in almost every movie, though. Like, I have watched so many movies where there is this inappropriate man, or usually it is an old man, but yeah, it's normal. In movies, it's something to talk about. That's how you get your ratings. Something to have an opinion on.
The first thing that I thought about when I saw it, though, because that is so true, because I thought of Joe from Medea. Ain't it Joe?
Uncle Joe.
I immediately thought of him because, there's always some creepy old man.
Yeah.
Joe's funny, but he's creepy. So,
and then you knew that this girl just needed that screen time. Like you said, she was famous at the time. Like, you knew that was the reason. And that was just the best way they could put her in, like, to make sense, I guess.
But the difference between Medea, and I know where you're going on that. I know what you're saying too, Caitlyn, with the creepy grandpa. But the difference between these movies, excuse me, and the Star Wars movies is those movies are probably like PG-13 rated R. This is a made-for-TV special in 1978. Star Wars. This is you're
so like anybody can watch.
Yeah, you're gearing this towards kids, and I'm like, okay, kind of suggestive, but okay. Diane Carroll, she gets her time on there.
Well, I don't know. Is Star Wars really like for kids in the 70s? I don't know. I feel like it's more of like a more mature audience because, I mean, technically I wouldn't be putting my 5-year-old watching like Darth Vader's arm getting cut off. And I mean, Watson does, but that's nowadays.
How old is Watson?
I mean, that's nowadays, but like back then, everyone was more,
Well, I mean,
I thought you were talking about Watson back then. I was like, what? How old is he?
Look, I'm a 5-year-old kid at this time, and I'm watching stuff like this, and I
was watching South Park when I was a kid. So,
I'm watching this, and I'm listening to Kiss with a demon up there that breathes fire, and spits blood all over the place. So there's no horns on this head. So
they didn't show anything, but you knew that was like his version of X-rated programming.
So Jack needs a bathroom break, by the way, guys. So we'll keep talking a little bit about. I'm scared my phone's gonna die. How much have you got left?
12%.
We'll get through it. We'll get through it because we haven't got much more to go. Gosh, charge your freaking phones.
I did. I just turned my brightness down and everything, and it's like going fast.
Jeez, have you got a charger?
Inside.
Everything's inside.
I mean, Jack just left. You want me to leave real quick?
Huh?
The intermission.
I can pause it. I can pause it if you want to go in there and run get it.
Yeah, because it's gonna die. It's like my phone's out of storage. All right. Go
Okay, so then we get to Mala getting on that phone again. Get off the phone, girl. She calls C-3PO and Leia. And, this is the part we talked about earlier. C-3PO is up there. He's doing the whole translating thing like the only thing he's really good for. And then Leia's like, can you please? she's kind of bossy in here. I mean, she might have been really coked out when this was going on because she's real bossy. Can you please tell Chewbacca and Han Solo to come to the screen, please? I mean, like, okay, wait a minute. First of all, here, can't you just say, don't y'all know each other well enough? Can you just tell Chewie and Han to come to the screen? You don't have to say the whole name, Han Solo. Like she didn't know who Han Solo was. So they get to talking back and forth, and while C-3PO is trying to translate for her, she said, That's what we talked about earlier. I think I understood her message. So, yeah, and then we go through that whole thing with same old, same old. Well, I'm sure they're fine. They'll be there in a few minutes. So, I mean, any thoughts on the appearance by Princess Leia and C-3PO, guys?
I think it was just kind of getting on board with everything else. I think they kind of just gave them a part to throw them in there to have them come back for a role. And then they were like, yeah, that's all we got.
We're gonna keep it simple. We're gonna make it easy on you guys. So all you have to do is do it like this little scene on a freaking video phone. And I did think it was funny what Princess Leia said when, of course, they bring the traitor up there, and I'm gonna call him the traitor because I can't never say his name right. Son, they bring him back up there to the screen, and she starts talking to him, and he said, "I'm a friend of the Empire, a friend of the Alliance." All this stuff. He just kissing her butt, and said, "Can you make sure?" I don't know if y'all noticed this or not. Can you make sure they're okay and safe until their leader returns? So,
yeah, I saw that.
The leader, not Chewbacca, but just the leader returns. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah. I thought that was kind of funny. But then, so they get off the phone with them, and he's like, "I smell something good in there. You got some of those? Is that those Wookiee Ookies that I'm smelling?" And I'm like, "Okay, a Wookiee Ookie." And then they get the whole banging on that. You hear a ship landing, and somebody's at the door, and of course, Lumpy thinks it's Chewbacca and Han Solo, and he goes to the door, and it's 2 stormtroopers there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we go to commercial. So now you've got the whole conflict with they've come to their house to search the house, and it really just gets to a point there where this is taking way too long. All this is taking way too long for me. They go through the freaking house, and Solomon is trying to distract the troops there, and he's doing all this, saying all this stuff, and here we go with the next segment of Y Part 4, the little video box that the one of the Imperial troops is messing with. He's like, "Well, I can turn it on for you. You just sit down and kick back, and you can watch this."
It produces like a full-on 80s rock video for
80s. This is like 70s hippie music here with Jefferson Starship. This is, and for those of y'all wondering, this is the group that turned into Starship that did the epic song "We Built This City." This is the same, although this is not the same singer, and some of the guys were not in that group when they changed the Starship. But so we get a freaking music video here for a little while, and I just don't. And being as I only listened to a little bit of music back at 5 years old, I don't remember Jefferson Starship being that big where, hey, we can get Jefferson Starship on the Star Wars variety show.
He was the only one available.
It may have been. I mean, because you had, I don't think you would get Kiss on there. I'm trying to think. The Eagles. I don't think you get the Eagles on Star Wars. That wouldn't fit either. But, trying to think of some of the groups there. What do you guys think of the little video?
Trippy.
nice.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was like the lyrics in the song just fit the script, like the idea.
I do think the Imperial officer kind of liked it.
Well, I
yeah,
do
yeah,
too.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't that the same thing though that Itchy used. So I feel like maybe it was some kind of machine that like pulled out their fantasy, like what makes them happy.
No, because he had the thing over his head though. Remember?
It looked like the same machine though.
It might have been because maybe Itchy wanted privacy.
Yeah, maybe he wanted it more private for sure.
Maybe so. But and then they go back to searching the house after it's over with. The guy all of a sudden gets in a bad mood again. He starts wanting to search the house. they're talking about looking upstairs, and they actually threaten Lumpy. They're like, if you don't keep that kid quiet.
I know.
And you kind of feel, and I actually kind of felt sorry for the kid then. I was like, this kid doesn't know what's going on. He's scared.
And they kept pointing the blaster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They blasted everybody.
Kind of harsh for a kid.
So, which brings up to the next segment, which is one of the best things about the whole freaking holiday special. He starts watching the cartoon. And let me tell you, if they did a cartoon, a Star Wars cartoon like this back in the day, instead of doing this freaking holiday special, that would have been a big hit. I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it because it's the first time we see Boba Fett.
Mm.
And
his first introduction during
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yep. And the story was good. Of course, it kind of looked weird. I always laugh when I see the first time they get in contact with the Millennium Falcon, and you see Chewbacca up there talking and looking around, and you see Han Solo hanging upside down in the background. I'm like, what the heck? But the talisman caused a sleeping virus.
Yeah.
And the only way to keep him alive was to hang him upside down so the blood would flow to his head. So, but here's one thing I didn't understand about the cartoon, and maybe you guys can help me out. So Luke and R2-D2 and C-3PO all go on that Y-wing instead of the X-wing. They go because I guess they couldn't get C-3PO in the X-wing. They go looking for him. They find him, and Chewbacca starts shooting at Luke. And Luke said, "They're like," and C-3PO is like, "He's shooting at us." He said, "Well, I don't think he's meaning to hit us." Then why the freaking hell are you shooting at him? Why shoot at him? What's the whole point of shooting at him? I mean,
Maybe as like a distraction. What'd you say?
I mean,
I was thinking maybe he was trying to get him to follow him or get his attention, but he was already doing that. So
yeah, he was
I don't know.
they were already trying to rescue him, and he shot. He said, "Well, I don't think he means to hit us. Chewbacca's a better shot than that." And first thing I thought about when I heard that was Stormtrooper's accuracy. Maybe he's got Stormtrooper accuracy virus or something like that. But
Maybe
I was thinking maybe he had something that it was secret, so it's like the dark side's watching them, so he had to like be like throw them off. Like
I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know.
trying to figure that out, but so they end up crashing. Both the Falcon goes. What is that? I mean, did that stuff look really weird, you guys? They just pop right back up, and I mean, I know they had the balloons underneath. What'd you say, Jack?
I said it looked like grape jelly. They were just
It did.
out of it.
And then you see, and I'm sorry, but on the cartoon, the dinosaur that pops out of the water that's trying to get Luke, he's not a mean-looking dinosaur. He looks like one of those dinosaurs you see on Land Before Time.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, they needed to make that dinosaur look a little meaner to be a bad guy.
Yeah, the dinosaur literally has a smile on his face.
Exactly.
Comes
He
up.
comes out of the water like, I love you. You love me. I mean, and then, Luke is he starts eating the freaking ship, and they take half the ship that jets out of the other half of the ship. And Boba Fett shows up on a big, and that dinosaur, that animal looked mean. I mean, that one looked mean. That should have been the one coming out of the water. And he stuns the guy with his little fork-looking thing that shoots stuff out of it. He gets that dinosaur away, and Luke thanks him, and we find out later on this is all a setup. This is all Boba Fett is setting them up. He's telling him he can help him, and he's no friend of the Empire either, which at the time at 5 years old and you hadn't seen Empire, you didn't know if he was or not. But now looking back, I'm like, oh, you can't trust Boba Fett. So he takes them to the ship, to the Falcon, and they get on there. As soon as they get on board, Luke falls asleep. Luke has got the sleeping virus too, so they have to hang him upside down. They had no problem. I mean, as soon as he went down, Chewbacca grabbed him, threw him over his shoulder, and started hanging him up like a side of beef over there. But then Boba Fett said, well, I can go in town and I can get the virus for you. Well, Chewbacca wants to go with it. And C-3PO, you can tell C-3PO is real wary of Boba Fett. And that's unusual because C-3PO is usually clueless.
Yeah,
I mean, in every movie, he's clueless. But he's like, you don't really need to trust this guy that quick. But they go in the city, and he gets the virus. He tells Chewbacca, you stay here, I'll go get it. And while he's doing that, we get our first look at cartoon Darth Vader. And Boba Fett's talking about, yeah, it's all going as planned. You know, and Vader is saying, if you get them trusting them, maybe they'll take you to their hidden base. And while that's going on, R2-D2 and C-3PO intercept that video. They hear it. So they know what's going on now. And when they get back to the ship, that's when R2-D2 or C-3PO lets them know, hey, he's not who he says he is. He's setting y'all up. And Boba Fett is holding a gun the whole time, going out like, I'll see you again sometime. He's gone. And everybody's good, and they fly off. But what's you guys' thoughts on the cartoon?
I liked it. I really did like it.
I think you said something earlier. I would have liked it more if it wasn't a part of this.
Yeah.
If it was the actual show, if they actually did that cartoon as like not an hour and a half, maybe a 30-minute show about that story, that would have been awesome. What do you think, Caitlyn?
You had the most detail in the cartoon than you had the rest of the whole show. Like, it was so slow. Like, well, I mean, I think because it was trying to show in this whole episode, like, between the battles, like, what they do when they're not doing the big stuff. So that showed, the big stuff happening outside of the Wookiees' home, but like real fast. It was just like, I don't know. I felt like the cartoon should have been longer. Yeah. To give more story of what was actually, the big battle here, like what's going on. But it was just real quick to the point. But I mean, it was really cool to see the cartoon side of it.
The graphics. Go ahead.
And to be on that little laptop and like he's like, oh, I'm just playing a game. Like I thought that was cool because it's like little secret story there.
And this was called The Faithful Wookiee. So that's the name of the cartoon, the first official Star Wars cartoon. I mean, and if you look at it, if you look at C-3PO and R2-D2 in this cartoon, they made a couple of cartoons later on in the 80s. One of them was called Droids, and one of them was called Ewoks. The droid ones, C-3PO and R2-D2 look almost exactly like what they look like in this. They look a little bit more, I guess, up to date in the 85 cartoon, but that is exactly what it looked like. But they needed to do it. I don't know how you would do it, because it would probably be a problem to get the original cast to do the voices all the time if you did like a weekly show. But what? Okay, the only complaint I have about the cartoon, I've almost left this out. Han Solo, the way they drew him, he had what's with the horse face? his mouth looked like it was jutting out here, and he opens his eyes one time at the end when they're flying out. He's like this the whole time, and then Chewbacca says something, and he kind of opens one eye, looks at him, and then he goes back like, oh. I'm like,
okay, yeah, because as good looking as Harrison Ford is, they could have done him a little better. Oh my God.
That's I don't even know if he had his eyes open like that. You caught him at a good time, because when I watch, there it is right there. he's just
It's like they couldn't draw the humans well.
That's him.
Yeah. Look
Smiling.
at that face, dude. Jeez. Harrison Ford's probably like, what the heck are y'all doing to me? So, it like Caitlyn said, Lumpy gets excited about halfway through the cartoon, and he starts doing like that. The guy, one of the troopers comes over there, and looks at him, and what are you looking at? And he's, oh, you're just playing a silly game. And he's like, yeah. So Lumpy's pretty smart. I'll give it that. So next thing you know, they start tearing Lumpy's room up. They're looking everywhere for anything. And he get that the present that he got earlier from the trader. I can't ever remember that guy's name, but he opens that. He's got that open, and he's playing with that when he goes up to clean his room. And he figures out a way. Like I said, he's pretty smart. He figures out a way to trick the Empire, the troops there. But we'll get to that in a minute. But in the meantime, when he's trying to work his little gift he got, there's an instruction video.
Yeah, I did. I remember that.
Harvey Korman comes back again, and he's got this. He's telling him how to do it, and he's doing the whole thing where he looks like a and I'm like, why part 5?
Yeah, that was weird.
Do you need this? This
He's
is
like glitching as a human.
exactly. We don't need this. I mean, this is, and it lasted way too long. I mean, it wasn't even funny to me. I don't know. It was not funny at all. So
at the very end of that, though, this is going to make me sound bad, but at the very, very end of it, he goes and falls. And when he falls, he literally holds his nostril and falls like he is sniffing cocaine going down. I'm not kidding.
Let me get a little while I'm going down.
I'm not kidding. I was like, did he just sniff cocaine on the TV?
I'm going to have to go back and watch that. As much as I hate to do it. So we get through that, like why part 5. And then we actually see another good part of it that I was excited to see. The Cantina Band. We go to Tatooine, and you see the Cantina Band up there playing. Dun, 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 dun. And
great song.
But then why part 6? B freaking Arthur as
Don't hate her. Don't hate on B.
Would you like a drink?
I'm not gonna lie, the last 30 minutes of the movie, when that started, it started to lose me.
Yes, because this part right here had nothing to do with the rest of the movie. She was just a freaking bartender at her bar, and Harvey Korman comes in again, and they're going through this whole spiel back and forth about how much he likes her and all this stuff. He's pouring drinks on his head, and it's just
he's drinking
stupid. He's got a drinking problem. He can't get it in his mouth. He's pouring it on his head. I mean, it's stupid stuff that had nothing to do with it.
Well, his head was his mouth. That's how he drank. His head was how he drank.
See, that's even stupider.
Yeah, well, I mean, in Star Wars, everyone is a creature. Like, they're all creature forms. But that was his mouth. It was like a hole.
He had a regular mouth.
But it wasn't how he drank. That's how he drank and ate, is on top of his head. But what got me is, why are you pushing yourself on? It was just this whole romantic scene that was, inappropriate because she was uncomfortable. And then, like you said, it had nothing to do with Chewie. We, moved on to a whole nother thing. And I had hopes when they were singing and we were going in, because I'm like, that gives me Star Wars, vibe. But then it just completely left field with a whole nother storyline. We're not in this storyline.
I'm sorry. B. Arthur is not a singer either. I'm sorry.
I was just like, what is happening?
And how many times do I have to freaking hear her say, we're closed, we're closed? She said it 30 times, I bet.
And no one cared, yeah.
and everybody was just like, one of them pulled a gun on her. I mean,
Yeah. The only thing I could get out of that though was like, again, it was showing like just like if something big is going on, there is still stuff happening. Like even if like we're in war, like in real life, if we're in war in real life, there's still these regular bars that have inappropriate guys hitting on girls. There's still someone trying to close their shop down and people not listening. Like I think it was just like, you know, showing that stuff still just goes.
everyday life goes on, I guess.
Everyday life goes on. But again, it's just like this is the whole show. The whole show had nothing to do with it. It was no Christmas tree anywhere. Like it's just nothing happening.
They maybe that's why they didn't call it the Star Wars Christmas special. They just called it the holiday special. And we don't. And I mean, we'll get to the end where how they celebrate Life Day. I mean, they don't have Christmas trees.
Chewie or Han like was in the bar or something. It would make sense, you know. Like they stopped. Like it would make sense if something in the storyline was like happening. But the only thing connected was the shutdown. Like I don't know. It was very odd.
Yeah, and I guess B. Arthur at the time, I think she wasn't a golden girl yet, so she was mauled, and it's like fingernails going across a chalkboard to me, like hearing her go. I'm sorry, she just can't do B. Arthur that much. And the song is so bad. The song is so bad. I mean, I don't know who wrote that and why they thought that was going to be a good idea, and put B. Arthur to do it.
Well, kudos to her to saying like we're all friends because they were about to like kill you over a drink. So yeah. I'm like, I don't know why you keep saying you're all friends because
they ain't your friends, girl.
They do not like you.
So we go back. We go back to Chewbacca's house, and Lumpy has figured out how to trick the troops, and he sends out a signal to the little video screen downstairs: "Return to base, return to base, return to base." And all the troops except one of the stormtroopers leaves. That one stormtrooper hangs around, and somebody should have threw a signal up to Lumpy, say, "Hey, you don't have to shut it down. Now they're gone." Lumpy's up there hitting that button over and over again. Return to base, return to base, return to base. And the stormtrooper comes upstairs, he hears it, sees what he's done, slams his little device down, and chases Lumpy downstairs. And Lumpy runs out of the house, and that's when we see Chewbacca come. Chewbacca and Han Solo make their appearance at the house, and the stormtrooper.
The way that Han kills the stormtrooper.
You didn't see any shooting.
No. He jukes him out, and then the stormtrooper.
And they do the
Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, they do the whole basic stormtrooper when I get shot and killed scream on A New Hope too. You hear over and over again. So he falls to his death, but his gun is still there. And Han, here we go. Han goes inside and he talks to. He picks Lumpy up and so you're getting big and all this stuff. The typical good friend of the family thing to say. And he looks at Mala and he's like, "Wow, you're so beautiful." And she looks at him with that cringy smiley. There goes that cringy smile again when she turns her head sideways and just goes like this. And I'm like,
she has a crush on all of her husband's friends.
Yeah, she likes Luke, she likes Han. And then
but how could you not? Just saying.
What?
I said, how could you not?
Oh.
So you have a crush on old men?
Yes. Them. And Anakin Skywalker. But go ahead.
Well, he's not
so and Han tells them, you're all like family to me. And but he's leaving them. He's gone. He's just going. And it's like, okay, where's the story going? So the mating call, it looks like a mating call between Chewbacca and Mala there at one time. They're just back and forth at each other. And I was like, what are we getting ready to see here? And he hugs his dad, hugs Lumpy, and then he goes over to her, and they're just looking at each other doing that little. And he puts his hand on her face and all this stuff. I was like, what's getting ready to happen here? I don't think Itchy and Lumpy need to be around here for long. But not. It goes. All of a sudden, you hear a banging at the door, and Chewbacca gets kind of cautious. He hides behind the door, but it's the traitor again. He's like a member of the family too. And the video screen lights up. And it's the one of the heads of the Imperial troops calling that stormtrooper, calls him by his number and everything. We can't get in touch with you. Why aren't your comlink on? So goes off the screen, and the traitor punches in a card, does his ID card in there, punches in some buttons. He talks to the guy. And what kills me is like that guy says, the traitor says, he robbed me blind. And then he took off for the hills. The rest of them had already left, and he stayed behind. He robbed me blind and took off to the hills. And it's just like that guy's like, okay. I believe you. Well, we're done with that. So let's go on. We'll send search troops out for him, but that's it for that. So that pretty much ends the whole conflict, and then we see the Life Day celebration with Wookiees and in red robes, and they're heading into some kind of light.
Looks like some kind of like sacrificial.
It looks like monks or something, like going to sacrifice or something like that. But then all these people, they all of a sudden, I guess the light was going into another room or something, and all these Wookiees are there. And also you look up, there's C-3PO. He gives this big speech. And then the whole gang's there. I mean, everybody's there. They get them back. I guess they said, all right, you got to make an appearance at the end or you're not getting paid. So they come back. And that's when we hear Princess Leia make her vocal debut. Oh, my gosh. She's okay till near the end. Near the end, she gets way off key. I guess the Coke wore off or something, but she gets way off key. And the looks, I don't know if you guys watch, but the looks on like Han Solo's face and Luke Skywalker's face when they go over to them while the song's going on, it's like, oh gosh, is it over yet? Can we get this done? But and this is just, they just go through highlights of A New Hope. And it's a plug for the next movie. I mean, and they show the part. And Chewie's one of the things that always bothered me about A New Hope. At the end, when they go through the whole Han and Luke are getting honored and all that stuff, they get the medal. Chewie never gets the medal. What the heck? And Chewie's sitting there when they're showing the flashbacks, and I can only imagine him saying, yeah, that's right. I never got a daggum medal. You two guys got a medal. I did just as much, as not more than you guys did.
But he did get his medal in the what's it called? The last 3 movies.
Yeah, finally.
Medal.
That's because there's nobody else left.
He was the only, other than 3PO and R2D2, he was the only original left.
It was actually one more. That I don't know if
Lando.
No, he wasn't in all. This guy was in all the movies except he may have missed one. You remember from A New Hope that Wedge, the pilot?
Oh yeah, in the jumpsuit.
He makes and look because he's in Jedi. He's in all 3 of the originals. I think he makes appearances in all the other ones. Maybe not the prequels, but. Yeah, Wedge is one of them that I would consider an original too. So that does it. We go off the air and that's the end of the holiday special. So here we go. Let's put it all out there, guys. We'll start with Jack. Your thoughts?
My thoughts is that it was interesting. First time watch. Will I rewatch it? Probably not. But I'll probably show it to my children one day to see what they think about it, hoping that they like Star Wars and whatnot. And definitely not what we were used to, or I was used to, but it was interesting, kind of like Caitlyn pointed out, seeing like normal day-to-day life in
Everyday
between
life.
the big galactic wars, just people living. So that part was interesting. And it was also interesting to see what people who were tripping on drugs were thinking about.
All right. Mallory.
My favorite part was Princess Leia's part at the end. And I'm not trying to be funny when saying the end of the movie. I actually mean it. Like, Princess Leia, you know. But yeah, it's definitely not something I would watch once a week, once a month, maybe not even once a year. But it's something every once in a while just for the nostalgia, I guess. And like Jack said, I would show it to my kids one day just to see their reaction. Like,
Just make sure when y'all show them to your kids, make sure they watch the movies first.
yeah. Oh,
Because if they
Yeah.
didn't watch, if they watch this first, they are not going to want to watch the movies. So,
no.
Caitlyn.
Well, I like how it went beyond the battles. Like it showed day to day. It gave background of they live life beyond the like the serious stuff. I like how they did give the Wookiees personality. Like I said, the little boy got in trouble. The mom was cooking dinner. There was the creepy grandpa. It seemed like a normal family situation. It was weird how it was so slow, then it sped up. I feel like the first half of the movie drug out, and then the last half was like do do do, like real fast. Let's get it over with. It made more sense after the fact. Like I said, when I was grown, I realized that they were on drugs. It made a lot more sense. Because you could definitely tell where they played a part. And I think in that day in time, like I said, they were getting used to all this new technology. They wanted to throw everything they knew, all the famous people that would trend in that time. Because let's be real, these like new trends, like they're like clock it and like throwing Cardi around. And, you know, like I wouldn't really think that that would be, you know, intelligent or trendy later on in life. But that stuff trended then. So they're like, let's do anything that's grungy. People are going to talk about it to get those views, to get people talking. So it'll boost you up. And I will say, when you embarrass yourself or you're going through a hard time, there's always growth for it. Like you're going to grow from that. And that's, I think, what Carrie had mentioned in some interviews too. Like, that was one of her darkest moments, but she grew from that. And if it didn't happen, she probably, you know, would still be in that time. So I think everything happens for a reason. They had to have this failure because I do think, I mean, they all said it too. It was a fail for them.
Oh, yeah.
But it had to happen. So you could appreciate the real movies more. But it was nice to be slowed down, see the freaky side. And I really do think that it's weird to us. But if you look at even the regular Star Wars movies, like you said, like with the guy dumping it in his head, that was how he ate. If you look into the Star Wars movies, there's weird stuff. I mean, just like Stranger Things, it's weird stuff. So, I mean, if you look at it as what if they look normal, it wouldn't be that weird. Like, it would make more sense. So you just have to really think outside the box with these one, like this one. Like, really think outside the box there.
I don't mind the weird stuff because, like you said, you know, you see when the first time you go in that cantina in A New Hope, you see all that weird stuff. But I've always wondered what the heck was George Lucas on to come up with some of the creatures that he came up with.
I know.
Yeah, like Jabba the Hutt. Like that's.
I mean, because Jabba the Hutt was originally going to be a live man. I mean, I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was filmed as like a big old man walking beside Han.
Yeah, because if you look at the when they remade A New Hope, Han, when it was a live action man, he walked around him, and instead of what they had to do in the movie with Jabba, then they had Han step on his tail, and you see Jabba go like that when he steps on, because they couldn't change him walking around him. But the weird stuff didn't bother me. I was actually would love to see more. The stuff that just bothered me out of this was, and I know they were making it like a variety show. If they'd have just stuck to this story, the Star Wars, based the Star Wars stuff out, and I mean, even the traitor, you could have the traitor in there. I don't mind that. But the little side stuff, trying to be funny.
Yeah, the funny and the musical. I mean, the musical stuff was reached. It was like, okay.
That's that. If you leave that out of here, because it gets so long. If you leave that out of here and just stick to that story.
If they could have played it on the TV, like in the back.
Yeah.
Like those little scenes, like in the background. But it was like front and center.
just don't make that a very big part of the show. And where you focus on that for like 3 minutes. I mean, that's wasted. And I'm sorry, Mallory, but B. Arthur, they just needed to cut that out.
I just like B. Arthur because of Golden Girls, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
that whole segment could have been cut out, would have been fine. We could have got this down to maybe an hour, and it would have been I think it would have been a good show with the cartoon in it and everything. We would have had a good show. But so this will be number 2 of me and Jack's. So we got one of the hardest ones out of the way early.
Yep.
And we had help. We had help too. So, but
of course you put us on the hardest one too.
You got
the biggest fans up here. You're going to give us the grungy one. Like, why?
Let me just tell you this, you guys out there listening about this. Me and Jack do the first episode. And I hear 30 voice messages about why we should be able to come on the show too. We should be able to guest on this show too, because we know this, we did this.
We're the most vocal about it on social media, that we are the biggest Star Wars fans, okay? And my brother should be here.
Your brother, I've already talked to your brother about coming on for his favorite movie. He's going to join me and Jack on his favorite movie.
Why couldn't we get our favorite movie? We don't like this one.
What's your favorite movie?
I like Into the Sit.
Yes, I could go with that one. Even though I've heard Stevie talk about that one ugly too.
No, you haven't heard me talk about Revenge of the Sith. That one is my favorite out of the ones except for the originals. I can deal, but the other ones.
1 second.
Hold on.
Oh, wow.
And I don't really mind the second or third one. What do you got?
I feel threatened.
My notebook, my Star Wars notebook.
The first one, we've already got the Phantom Menace out of the way, because we talked about this last time. Me and Jack both agreed that kid, no offense to him, but the way they wrote him in that movie, annoying as anything. Between him and Jar Jar, that's the 2 most annoying things I've ever seen in a Star Wars movie. So I will not back off of that.
See, I am so into like powers and magic and all of that. I want to talk about the Jedis. I want to talk about the dark side. Like, you cannot do that with this one. You can't talk about anything but about how druggy this one was.
We will have you back on. Lord, next time we have you on, though, bring your notes with you outside.
And charge your phone.
And charge your phone in advance.
I will, but I won't need notes because I've watched all the other movies at least 100 times. Like, at least 100 times. This one I've watched probably twice in my whole life.
I still like to have my notes, even though I've watched these movies God knows how many times. The first 3 I've probably seen. Ooh,
they're like my comfort movies. Like, we play, if I'm not watching Paw Patrol, Watson will watch Star Wars. Because his favorite character is Darth, but when Darth's, hand got cut off, he was like, why? So I'm not really into showing him all the movies yet, because he don't understand dark side for real. But I love to be a part of these episodes. So
Look, I'm ready.
have us back.
I'm ready.
Oh my gosh.
No, that's not
More
it.
than I wrote in my entire
This is
school.
just one movie. This is Revenge of the Sith, okay?
Listen what Jack, what'd you say, Jack?
I said that's more than I wrote in my entire school career.
Well, same.
And so I'll read this. Maybe I can read it by the time we come back. But I have Carrie Fisher's book about, it's her diary
Oh, okay.
while she played Star Wars. Like while she played in Star Wars, all of the movies, she wrote a diary and documented in this book. So she like goes behind the scenes.
I would love to read that. That's real interesting to me.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
So next month, Jack, next trip. Well, I won't say next month. Whenever you're ready, we will do episode 2. And look at it. I'm getting looks right now. Just glares from.
Say it again. You and me will do episode 2.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about how I have never even heard you talk about Star Wars, Jack. So anyways, we're going to log off. We're logging off.
If I recall, if you go back and watch that Thanksgiving video, I didn't get a favorite cousin by either one of y'all. So,
Oh.
Yep. And I'd just like to say that.
I can change mine.
Anyway,
that was last year.
So if we're ranking what we've watched, so what we've went over so far, it's definitely Phantom Menace first and a Holiday Special second. I mean, for me, no competition there.
Yeah, no competition.
Aggravating and annoying as Jar Jar and the little Anakin were.
Still, yeah.
This is
it still trumps over the Holiday Special.
Gosh, I will take Anakin, little Anakin over B. Arthur any day. I mean, and I'll take Jar Jar over the freaking circus act any day.
All right, well, I love Jar Jar, so don't hate on Jar Jar. I actually really do.
Jar Jar, he just didn't fit.
But he's funny.
You have to have a misfit, okay? You have to have a misfit.
Thank you.
Who was the misfit in the first 3?
Doesn't mean the movie has to have one.
Who was the misfit in the original ones?
Always one. Let me think.
But he wasn't as.
Probably, yeah. Honestly, though, like in the first one, New Hope, C-3PO probably is.
He wasn't that bad though.
He was a comic relief.
Yeah, exactly. That's
what he just came back with some. He only thing he did was come back with some sharp words for R2-D2 all the time.
Okay.
But Jar Jar ends up sticking his tongue out through something that numbs his tongue, and he's dragging his tongue around. I mean, come on. That didn't work out like George Lucas thought it would. I mean, we could talk all night about that. But anyway, before we go, I'm not going to put you through the 2-minute drill, Caitlyn, so because you're not prepared for it. The 10-second drill. Before we go, remind us one more time where we can find the Sunny Dayz 252 podcast out, guys. Remind us and talk a little bit about what you got coming up.
Okay, we're going to have a Star Wars episode coming up on our own.
Hey, Jack, how many times have you been on their podcast?
Exactly. Good point.
We have not allowed guests yet because due to storage and devices. Watson. Okay, Watson.
FOMO.
Well, it's coming.
Yeah, we definitely want to start guests. We just feel like we have to be a little bit more put together first. Watson kind of just pops in because I don't have a babysitter. He's a part of me.
Yeah, but that he is like your kid and all.
Yeah, so we have talked about it though, and we really want to, but we've just gotten to where we have like a space for it. We use my camper now, so we have a little space where we can work with. We're so random. It's like we'll set days, but we I don't know. We're nervous about the guests. We want to, but we have to get it together. We got to get it together. But being guest stars are preparing us, so thanks for that.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can.
You guys just have your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, you can find us on YouTube, but we're trying to get Mallory's dad, Stevie, to help us get on Spotify and all the new platforms, because we have noticed, because we get feedback now, and that's why we said we want to continue on with this, because it's actually starting to catch and we want to do more with it. But we've heard people say, I can't watch it because I'm driving, or, YouTube will cut out when you're not on your phone. Like, you can't just leave it up like Spotify. So we want to get out on other platforms, but me and Mallory are not the best at technology. We started this before our time, really. Like, we should have trained a little more on how to start a podcast before we started one. But we wing life, and that's why y'all should follow us, because we are real and raw. So you can watch our shenanigans on YouTube, Sunny Dayz 252.
So yeah, you guys, I understand totally about the audio deal. And as far as being trained on how to do a podcast, I wasn't trained. I'd learned just like you guys are. Y'all were learning on the spot and finding out a little bit as you go along. So
we do have an Instagram and a TikTok. We're playing with that.
So okay, so we can find
Sunny Dayz on Instagram and TikTok.
And Jack, the YouTube channel. Tell them where they can find you at.
If you look me up, it actually pulls up football highlight clips of a football player named Jack Jones.
I know.
But actually, let me go try it right now. Can you still see? Is my camera still on?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. All right. I'm on my.
You didn't hear me.
Hey, Caitlyn.
Yeah.
Putting you on the spot here. Cloud City or Hoth?
Cloud City. Heads in the clouds.
That sounds like B. Arthur.
If you look up Jack Jones Thanksgiving and scroll down far enough, you'll see it.
Hold on.
Hey, we got you the thing.
So actually, if you search Sunny Dayz 252, Jack's Thanksgiving episode comes up.
Yeah.
So you can link from there.
I look up what?
When you look up Sunny Dayz 252, your Thanksgiving episode comes up every time for me.
Same.
You must have tagged them in it.
Yeah, it's in the description.
I don't see it.
It pops up number one every time for me.
Sunny Dayz 252.
Yeah, if I scroll down far enough, I see it.
Huh. Well, it does it every single time.
If you look up Jack Jones Thanksgiving 2024, it should be the first video at the top.
That's still like one of my favorite videos ever.
Yes, love that.
You guys really need to check that out. That's all about family, and this family is a special family, of course. And I'm not just saying this just because I've been a part of it for so long, but it's a special family. You guys really need to check that out. It'll get you into feels for Thanksgiving and Christmas around this time of year. But
and as for anyone with Keel blood in them, you'll see how much we all look alike.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anybody that comes from Nana or Papa, they all look the same.
Well, especially you.
Well, I look like Papa, but all the women look alike.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's funny because when I was little, I looked exactly like Diddy, but as I've gotten older, like people have been telling me on and on and on, I'm starting to look more like a Keel because of my face structure.
But
I just love our accent on that episode. Everyone has a great accent.
And everybody is singing. There's so many people singing in that episode. Yeah. Funny family. We're pretty funny.
Yep.
We'll say comedians. Knee slapping.
And we're not afraid to talk.
No, you can tell by this episode, we're not afraid to talk. Everybody loves to talk. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Thank you to Caitlyn and Mallory from Sunny Dayz 252 podcast for being on tonight. And they will be back again, of course. And Me and Jack will never get asked to be on their podcast, I'm sure, but that's okay.
We've asked you to be up there.
You haven't. I have never been asked.
You have been asked.
I think I have it in text. I think I have the actual text
We
message.
got proof. We got proof somewhere.
If I have, I've never been told a subject or anything. I don't just.
Something's telling me you asked me, Mallory, at one point.
Oh, we did.
It never went anywhere, though.
Yeah,
Like,
we did, because you know why? Y'all are wishy-washy.
I will admit, I think you did ask something.
And Mallory told me, and she was like, Jack's too busy right now. So,
Okay, but I am busy.
okay, not as busy as me, fam.
Or a topic or anything, or I'd be on in a heartbeat. So,
all right, so you're on next episode.
we'll see.
Look, let me tell you, I got you, fam. December 21st, applesauce crafts.
Ooh, yeah. All right. So you guys, next month we'll be doing episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and who knows? We might have a special guest for that too. Maybe Harrison Ford's available. Why he would do Attack of the Clones, I don't know. But
I mean, me and Mallory went to the Disney World and like lived it.
And me.
I was about to say he did.
So Jack did too.
Yeah.
So let's all talk about it.
I've been to Disney World and seen it too.
Okay. Well, I don't think that ride was there when you went.
We went to Florida to go to Universal, and then I planted the bug in everybody's ear like, Disney's open and we could get a day pass. It's only like $200 a person.
Yeah, I had to wake up at 6 a.m. and like book, because you couldn't get in that ride unless you were like number 1 in line at 6 a.m.
Oh, we didn't have that problem.
Yeah, because I was there when it first opened.
No, it was.
Well, it was life changing, that whole ride, because it wasn't there the last time I went, but then when I went with Caitlyn, it was there. So it was my first ever time, and it was indeed life changing.
We feel like we lived in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So we could play the part.
Exactly.
I
could be Princess Leia's
I lived through Star Wars.
long lost cousin. I mean,
that's going to be one episode. The toy.
Wait, wouldn't that make me her long lost cousin too?
I didn't say you were in this universe.
Oh,
that hurts.
The family drama. It looks like we're the Brady Bunch.
The only family drama we have is made up Star Wars drama.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. And like I said, thank you to Caitlyn and Mallory. Thank you, Jack, as always. And we will see you next time. And I'll lead off with this. May the force be with you always.
May the force be with you. Appreciate it.